Phonetics and its branches. Definition: the physical manifestation of language in sound waves. So in phonetics we discuss how in different ways we can make sounds and what are the theoretical aspects of the sound. So it is a manifestation of the sound through sound waves. How these sounds are articulated and perceived. When we articulate a sound, when we speak, right, we make different modification in the coming ear. So we discuss in phonetics that what it is that take place at different parts in the vocal tract. What are the characteristics of human sounds? How they become human sounds and how are they different from other creatures or animals? So we discuss all these aspects of human sounds under this very heading, phonetics. It also discusses the method for description, classification and transcription. So we describe human speech sounds, how they are uttered, right? What it is that takes place in uttering human sounds. Then we classify sounds. We classify sounds mean that where they come from. Some sounds are bilabial, some sounds are labiodental. So we have different classes of sound. So we discuss all these aspects of classification of sounds in phonetics. And then transcribe the way a sound is produced. So we have symbols to transcribe sounds. So in phonetics we transcribe human speech sounds. So this helps us in understanding human sounds. So phonetics is concerned with describing the speech sound that occur in the languages of the world. So under this very heading, phonetics, we discuss all the languages that are being spoken by the people around the globe, previously, in the past or presently. From the brain, where the message is encoded, the message is carried from the on the motor nerves. Motor nerves carry impulses from the brain or spinal to a muscle or a gland, and from motor nerves they come on to the vocal muscles, and on vocal muscles the sound is made on the air coming from the lungs, and this air gets out. So these sound waves travel from the mouth of the speaker to the ear of the listener, and from the listener's ear they travel to the brain through the sensory nerves. So this is what it takes place when we speak. So if we look at this, at whatever take place in the brain is linguistic level, whatever take place or at the vocal muscles, it is physiological level, whatever take place on the air waves or sound waves, it is acoustic level, and then comes the ear of the listener. It is again the physiological level. The ear, it goes to the brain, and it's again linguistic level. So we can simplify this speech chain into this diagram. So we have speaker's brain, we have speaker's vocal tract, we have transmission of sound through air, we have listener's ear, we have listener's brain. Whatever takes place in the speaker's mind or in the listener's mind is beyond the present study. Whatever takes place on the vocal tract of the speaker, it is articulatory phonetics. Whatever takes place on the airwaves, it is acoustic phonetics, and whatever takes place with the listener or the hearer, it is auditory phonetics. So we have the three branches of phonetics for our present discussion. One is articulatory phonetics. It analyzes which organs and muscles are used by speakers to produce speech. So under this heading we discuss that when we make a certain sound, which part of the tongue is involved, which part of the upper jaw, the roof of the mouth is involved, what is the air stream mechanism. So we discuss all these things in articulatory phonetics. In acoustic phonetics, we are concerned with the physical properties of speech sound as they travel in the air between the speaker's mouth and a listener's ear. So we discuss amplification, amplitude, the duration, the pitch, etc. Under this acoustic phonetics. Auditory phonetics, we talk about the way a message or a speech sound is perceived by the listener. So it investigates the perception of speech sound by the listener. What it is that the listener understands a message, how the sounds are transmitted from the ear to the brain, and how they are processed. So under this heading, auditory phonetics, we discuss all these things. So phonetics is thus a linguistic field that draws heavily on other scientific disciplines. We study anatomy, we study physiology, we study neurology, and we study physics. So all these subjects, these disciplines are studied somehow when we are discussing phonetics, because we cannot understand this complex phenomenon unless we take help from these subjects. So phonetics studies human speech sounds.